Hey, lovely people. I'm back. So, part 3, Ensemble, Dash of Dave Design Team, Project for his Digitals, Making a Journal. You've seen part 1 and part 2, back for part 3, the sequel. And tonight, I'm going to sew in the signature. But first, I've just realised one of my lights is not on, so bear with me, or I just flick a switch. And we might look as bright as we have done the last couple of nights. Wow, there we go. Let's see if that's better. Oh, much better. Right, so, gonna crack on. Because I've never sewn signatures on camera before, so we don't know how this is gonna go. So here we have the spine that I made, with the markings on the back. 3 signatures, 3 holes on each, pamphlet stitch. And then what I've done is I've taken just a bit of scrap white paper, folded it in half, very technical here, and then I literally lined it up with that and marked the 3 holes, because I'm also going to use that in a little while, as you'll see. So first things first, I'm going to move these out of the way a minute, and I'm going to bring in my trusty book. It's just an old, now very battered, you can see where I've used it. It's where I punch on my holes. It's a very old, very battered, very cheap, bought it in a charity shop book. C.J. Sanson, Tombland. It was a great read. I've actually got another copy of it, which I read, or read, should I say. Highly recommended. Any road. I'm going to punch my holes. The 9 on this that I need to sew my 3 signatures in. And if you want to see me making the spine, go watch the other videos. I've already done it. That's that. There we go. That's only 9 holes. We're going to sew it to that side. I'm making, they call it a floating spine, because I'm going to sew my signatures to this, and then we'll glue it in, and it means you won't be able to see it from the outside. There'll be no stitching on the outside. That's the plan. I'm going to poke these 3 holes out here. Yeah, he said in his poshest voice for a Yorkshire boy, because that's going to help me mark my signatures. And then this is where the fun starts. Like I said, I've never done this on camera, so I'm going to try and do it without you seeing my head. Get out my box of tricks. In here is my waxed thread, pokey tails, clips, and a big needle. So I need 4 big clips, 3 pokey tools, some waxed thread, and somewhere a rather big needle. Ta-da! Move that out of the way. So that's all my school beans that I'm going to need. And the way I do this is, that's my top. I will start at the back and work forwards. I'm sure not everybody does it the same way, but it works for me. Right, so we'll make sure they've got these the right way around, so that, yep, my photographs are all the right way up. And I'm going to swap that round with that one. So I'm going to put that one in last. And then I just find the middle. There we go. And then this sits in the middle. And if you can see those pencil lines at either end, that's the length of the spine. And then the pencil lines are the length of the paper. And that way, more or less, my holes are generally all in the same place. I push it down a bit into the spine of the book, and I've just opened the book to the middle. And I've used it that many times now that it just naturally opens in the middle. And then I'm going to stick a poker tool through each hole. There you go. Ta-da! 3 holes. There you go. Simple as that. I'm done. I'm going now. Bye. No. And then, to keep it all in place, take my 4 clips. One at the top on the side, one at the bottom on the opposite side, and then I put them on the ends as well. So then when you take out the pokey tools, it kind of gives it that, it keeps that V shape a bit, which is easier to get your needle and thread through. So, there's supposedly math involved now. This needs to be 3 times the length of your spine. I was taught that. And weirdly, it always works, and you've always got a bit of excess to clear off. But if you make it 2.5 lengths of your spine, it tends not to fit, or it's too short and you've not got enough to pull through and you can't get a good loop on it and all sorts of stuff. So I've always gone with 3, just my way. Right, and then once your 4 clips are on, I then take out my poker tools and I take out my piece of paper and I stick my needle through the middle and lift it out from the book. Bring my book, bring in my spine. Remember that I always mark the top as well, just in case any of you, in case your top and bottom are different lengths. And then in through the middle, or out through the middle. Like I said, I've never done this on camera, so it could be quite difficult. And then back in through the top, so that's your spine, and then back in through your book. If this works the first time, I will be amazed. And then you can pull it a bit tighter, and it's attached. And then pull this one up, and I go back through the same hole without catching the thread, because you want to be able to tighten it later. So go back through that hole, pull it out. I caught it. See? Knew it'd happen. Okay, so, or have is it just my end? I've just lost my end. Bear with. There we go. Let's see. No, it's caught. It's caught on that bit there. Yeah, that bit's not caught. So I've taken my needle off, pulled it out, and rethread it. And probably should have put my glasses on for this, because now I can't see a thing. And it's waxed, so you don't need to lick it like I would with a normal thread. There we go, back in. Okay, so go back out that hole without catching the thread, and then it should. Then if you do this and pull that one and pull that one, it'll tighten itself up. I told you it's not going to be easy on camera. You're going to go back in through the bottom one. Not easy. And then back in through the bottom one of my book. It's definitely not easy trying to do this on a camera. Oh dear. There we go. And then, if you pull them both tight, and you can see it goes tight on the back, and there's no gap there. And then, I should have left it threaded on the needle, but poke that one underneath there, and pull, and then I just tighten a knot. Ta-da! And ta-da! First one, eh? Look at that. That went better than I was expecting. Usually I've got my face right up against it, and then you couldn't do that because I'm filming it. So that could have been very interesting. So it was half a minute. So that's our first one in. Et voila. So I'm going to do exactly the same again. Bring my book in. I'm going to take my second signature. I'm going to find the middle and pull that up a bit because that nice wiggly paper, wiggly edged paper. It's sticking more out at the top than the bottom. And it's handmade, and I don't want to cut the edge off it because it's got a nice edge on it. So I'm not. So it's going to be slightly bigger than the rest. Line up the edges of my pages against my little lines. Push it down, make sure it's all in. Hole number 1. Hole number 2. Hole number 3. Da-da-da. And then clip the top. Clip at the bottom. Clip at one side. Clip at the other side. And there we go. Excuse I. Take my porkies out. And take that away now. Measure 3 lengths of thread. And I've seen people do it where they don't cut it off the reel, but that messes with my head. I can't do it. Drop my needle. Could have been dangerous. Here we go. So, again. Watch, people, watch. In through the middle. Ba-dum-bum. Move my book. Bring in my spine. And this time we're going to go through the middle set of holes. So, through that way. Through that way. Oh, excuse my arm. Back through that way. And then hold this one out of the way, and I'm going to try and go back through without catching it, which I've managed. And back through that bottom hole. No, I've gone through the thread. Oh, bear with, I've got my chunks for that size of my mouth trying to do this. There we go. And we've not caught the thread this time. So out that way. You can tell because if you've caught the thread, it won't pull through. It don't like it. And then back in through the bottom. Ooh, through my book. And I clip it together because I found through trial and error. And then let's pull that out the right way. So we do them all the same. There we go. If you pull those, tie it on the front. Oop. Tie it on the back. Pop that under there. Get the needle off. Another tug. Tighten a knot. Tighten a double knot. And you can, if they're too long for you, you can trim them. If they're just the right length for you, you can hang a bangle off them. You do with them as you like. I usually trim them so that they're inside the pages of the book. Look at that. 2. I'm impressed. On camera and everything. So, I hope everybody's well and enjoying everything so far. It's been a bit of crazy madness trying to do this every day after work, but hey, we're getting there. We'll get it finished soonish. And for anyone that's asked questions, Well, I was asked to show doing this on camera, which I'm doing. Which, like I said, is weird because usually my face is up against it. Trying to go through holes and stuff like that. But hey, we're managing. It's not too bad. It's actually going slightly better than I was expecting for filming. And what else was I asked? Oh, I was asked if I'd printed papers on both sides. I've no idea what I did with the needle. Ah, there it is. I thought I'd lost my needle then. And yes, I printed papers on both sides. Now, for those of you that have ever heard me talking on any of Dave's videos, I am a proper technophobe. I'm so not good with technology. Scissors. And so, printing on both sides, I had a really good method of working it out. Rather than, I'm sure on the computer you can do print both sides and it'll do it. I'm sure there are ways, but what I did was one day I put a big X on a piece of paper and I put it in the machine, and I worked out that it printed on the bottom because when it came out there was a big X. So what I do is I print everything that I want, and then I turn it over and put it back in and print it again. And that's me being really technical. So yes, some of the pages were printed on both sides. No rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of went through and then put a load back and mixed them up and printed again and see what I got. So, right, my last row of holes, I do exactly the same again. In through the top. In through the book. Kind of got into the swing of it now though. I'm kind of glad people are enjoying them because I've enjoyed making them and I've loved working with Dave's papers. They are kind of fabulous. My brain's in overdrive for other stuff because there's 2 kits he's released and then 2 more that he's imminently going to release. And then we've been looking through all sorts of other stuff that we've done in the past to see what else we can scan in. And it can turn into a kit and do some artwork on. In through the bottom hole. Now that doesn't look good. That looks like caught again. No. It's just the other one. Let's pull that back through. There we go. In through the bottom. Come on, last one. And because it's waxed, you can get a really good grip on it. Really good tug. So, and then you can see they're tight on that side. And then that needle under there. Pull it through, take the needle off, and tie in a knot. Ta-da. Oh, there we go. I'll turn that one off because it's exorbitant, like really long. And then this is where you find out you've put in the signature upside down usually. Oh, I do anyway. But you know what? If I'm really lucky, I'll be the right way up. So, ta-da! Right where, right where, right where, right where, right where, right where. They're all the right way up. There you go. 3 signatures sewn into my journal. Ta-da! Wow, we're in 20 minutes. Quite impressed myself with that. Like I said, it could have been very weird because I thought you might end up seeing a lot off the top of my head, but I managed it. It might not have been pretty. I might have looked very unwieldy and ungainly, but do you know what? Pah, it is tough. So, now, we'll do some fun stuff. Watch this. Just move that to the side a minute. Remember this. That's the front. This is is our journal cover. Luckily, because there's a manila envelope in the middle of that, I can see where it's going. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it in. I'm just going to cover this in 3-in-1. Beacon 3-in-1. It's as far as we can work out. It's exactly the same as Fabri-Tac or Fabrifix, except they claim it can do 3-in-1. And I am usually quite generous with this because I want it to stick good. Give it a good cover. And I'm just going to go, I'm not going to go all to the edge of this yet. I'm just going to put some on the flappy edges. I'm going to put a bit under there as well, and a bit under that one. And then I'm going to try and top, front, and stick it in. You probably can't see my line, but thankfully I can. Make sure it's about in the middle. Make sure it's equidistant top and bottom. Go up a bit, up a bit. I'll do me. I'm going to stick it down like that. So get my finger right up to the edge of it, so that's in, and then I normally get this thing or a bone folder, either work, and I go in between the 3 signatures and just give it a press down, because it also helps to, you have to excuse me, I'm going to go over the top of it just to make sure the edges are all stuck down. Give it another press, give that a press, and then I normally have 2 very heavy books that I sit inside of it, but I forgot to bring them over. So I'm going to put that there for a minute, and I'm going to put that there for a minute, and I'll be back. They're not far away, so we're talking seconds. Told you, back with 2 very heavy books. So this is Tudor's Leading Cases of Mercantile and Maritime Law, which is a right chunky monkey. And this one is the Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, which is also a chunky monkey. And they're both rather beautiful, and I love them, but they're also heavy, which is marvellous. We like heavy. So that's that. And then I'm going to be right cheeky because I'm going to stick these in as well at the same time, and then the books will do the job of holding them down. So I'm just going to take that big tag out the back. I think that's a sensible idea. And this one's going on the back. So I'm going to glue it first. And again, actually, I'm going to take that one out as well because I don't want to get glue on that one. I'm going to glue the back of my envelope. And again, I'll just shake the glue out. I'm going to try and put a really good coverage. You probably can't see that. Oh no, if there's a light on that side, you probably can't see it. I'm just going to try and get really good coverage to the edges because we want the whole thing stuck down. And because I'm sticking onto fabric, I'm going to use my 3-in-1, which, as I said, we're convinced is like Fabri-Tac or Fabrifix. One day we'll find out it's completely different and useless, and I don't know, but I'm convinced. But weirdly cheaper. Well, it is in this country anyway. When we buy it on Amazon, they can obviously get this more easily than they can everything else. And you know, if you've got a spreader, you could spread it out, but I tend not to. There we go, make sure there's plenty to soak into the fabric. And then I'm just going to move my book a minute, whilst also getting tangled in my cables, which is just fabulous. And then I'm going to line that up with the edge. And I'm going to stick that down, making sure it's where I want it. And then I'm going to put that back. So now it's doing the job of two things. And then I'm going to take the big tag out the back of this one, this time, and get it out. Glued, has it? No, I just need to get a good grip. Get a grip! There we go. Got a grip. And I'm going to glue this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to give it a really good coverage. And then I'm going to zap it across the top. Down the edge. Along the bottom. And then fill it in. Making sure there's plenty to soak into my fabric. Did I get all the edges? That was clever, wasn't it? This edge in particular, because it's the edge of the journal. Top, bottom, there we go. That should do us. We might be over-egging it now, but hey. And then I'm going to take the book off this side. Oop. Yeah. I'm going to stick this one down. Line it up with the edge of the journal where I want it to be. And that's why my spine was a bit wider. Ooh. So that it had papers to cover. Right, I'm going to give that a good press. Oh, I'm loving that. You probably can't see very well, but I know exactly what it's going to turn out like, so. And I'm going to put my book back. Put a bit of weight on, because I've got plenty of it. And then, this is the sad bit. That's going to be the end of the video. I'm going to leave it to dry overnight, because I like to. So, I don't want it falling out, so I'm just going to leave it. It's going to sit like that overnight, and then tomorrow we'll move on and do another bit. Ta-da! So, short and sweet tonight, but I hope you enjoyed it. And when I finish work tomorrow, we'll do the next part. And we'll have a full journal to flip through and play with and stick things in. So yeah, questions in the comments if you wish to. Thumbs up, thumbs down, one of each, one of either, neither. But give me one. Would be helpful, always helps. Helps with the algorithms. And whilst I don't do maths, YouTube do. So it does help. And comment if you would like to. Feel free, you don't have to, but it's always nice to hear from people. I take questions, I will try and answer them if I can. Yeah, and that's it, folks. Short and sweet tonight, like I said, but I will see you again tomorrow for part 4 of Ensemble. So, this is me checking out. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.